What's up, y'all? Should be Saturday, shouldn't it? Yep. Awesome. Hope everything's going okay with y'all. The comments have been great, by the way. We're my coffee and cigarette crew, though. What's up, coffee cigarette crew? Hell yeah. I already had all my coffee and cigarettes. I'm on to, it's just water now. Drink water. And listen to death metal. Drink water, listen to death metal. We're listening to Morta Skuld Surface. Oh yeah. Look at that inside art. Look at them dudes. What the hell band is that? I figure if somebody told me what that band is, I'd be ashamed that I couldn't recognize that. Anybody figure that out? What band is that? Anyways, got a Motorhead shirt in there. And then the Misfit shirt, and then his own band. Yeah. Well, anyways, Morta Skuld. You can see it right there. Skuld. What the hell? What does that mean? You've been skulled. Maybe it means something in a different language, and I don't know it. So, the album Surface. I picked this up a long time ago. So it's kind of an old one. When did this come out? I don't know. It's small print, and the light's shitty in here. Late 90s. I don't know. Check it out. Oh, yeah. I think Micah mentioned this band on her channel. So, yeah, I mean, wanting to look for my copy of it. Yeah, it's just some melodic death. Not super brutal. But it's still heavy. It's still heavy. You know, it's heavier than Pantera. Oh, but this is the cool part. Look at all this bullshit back here. Yeah, Malevolent Creation in Cold Blood. That's not in Cold Blood, is it? I think it is. Eternal Bleeding, Extinction of Benevolence. Man, I used to have that album. I don't know what happened to my copy of it. I remember the sound production on that was, like, they got a producer that actually wanted to make it sound good, and it made it sound worse. Because Internal Bleeding sounding bad makes them sound better. I don't know. But listen to Voracious Contempt and then listen to Extinction of Benevolence. You know what I'm talking about. Got the Mighty Crowbar over here. Yeah. What's this other one? Last Chapter? Last Chapter, I'm not even familiar with who the hell that is. Forbidden, yeah, that was a Paul Bostaff on drums. I remember that. I heard some Forbidden tracks. They weren't bad. Pretty decent thrash. Look at all them other ones, man. Look at all them other bands in there. This is how we did it back in the day, y'all. We had to get these damn order forms and shit like that. Damn it. Clouds are moving overhead. I get good light and the cloud moves over and I lose my light. Yeah, it was Malevolent Creation in Cold Blood. I thought so. There's a band called Autograph. A band called Murder One. What the hell? Bands I've never heard of. Still to this day, don't know them. All CDs, $12. It's amazing. As much as everything costs these days, CDs run you about the same amount of money. That's strange. Oh my god, it's all dark. Shit. Turn that lamp on so you can see me. Well, anyways, wonderful comments out there. Wonderful comments. Somebody suggested a band for us. In Disgust. Kind of a crust grind, power violence type thing. But somebody said, check out In Disgust. Well, In Disgust doesn't have like full albums. They got like EPs and demos and shit. But the 2017 one, We Should All Die. Man, I fucking hate that light. That's better. I just turned on the lamp over there. There we go. In Disgust, We Should All Die, 2017. It's on YouTube. They're on Metal Encyclopedia. It was recommended. I gave it a listen, and I didn't hate it. Now it's raining. Fucking raining its ass off out there. But YouTube and the mighty algorithm, I think we all thank the algorithm every now and then, don't we? Another band got suggested, Corchazo. Yeah, Corchazo. They got a demo 2025, that's all they got. It's like two guys in the band. Corchazo, I think that means cork in Espanol, in Spanish. But demo 2025, check it out. It's pretty good. They're from Uruguay. Yeah, just some death metal demo from dudes in Uruguay. So thank you, YouTube algorithm, for that one. That was refreshing to listen to. Mortal Skull, Surface. So we got to talking about horror movies in the comments, and somebody brought it up. Did I save their name? Oh yeah, here we go. I don't even know how to say your name. It's Kane, R-O-E-N-O-R. Kanerano? Kanerano? I don't know. 3101. Well, we're just going to call you Kane. How about that? Kane mentioned, was Dee Snider in this movie? And he got me thinking, who remembers that movie with Dee Snider of Twisted Sister? Did a horror movie in the late 90s with a soundtrack that we're going to cover in a second. Anyways, he became this crazy dude, and then tattooed half his face, half his body was tattooed, and this tribal artwork. Oh, it's so fucking cool looking. The movie was like Silence of the Lambs, but a guy that listened to metal and tattooed his face and didn't wear human clothes, but he did weird shit to people, and it was pretty brutal and extreme. The movie, who saw that? I know some of y'all are going to remember this. You're probably already commenting right now. It was Strangeland. Did y'all ever see Strangeland with Dee Snider? Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger was in this. That was cool. I was he played a bit part in there. And then Amy Smart was in this? That was crazy. I don't remember her being in that movie. Of course, I don't really remember Amy Smart doing much of anything. She did some movies in the 2000s that were fun, I guess. But anyways. Strangeland, Dee Snider, Robert Englund. That was cool. There's a few other cool people in that movie, too. As far as a horror movie, it was more like a suspenseful thriller type movie and not a horror movie in the traditional sense. Although Dee Snider did play a very disturbed character, who was kind of fun. If you haven't seen Strangeland, give it a try. Give it a shot. It's worth a watch, but it's not the greatest movie you've ever seen. But it's worth a watch. But then we got the soundtrack, and that's kind of what this movie tried to have going for it. So let's see what was on the soundtrack. I remember it being good. Or good-ish. So you got Megadeth, Anthrax, Bile. I remember Bile. Bile attempted to be an industrial metal band. I think they had one or two albums, and I remember they weren't bad, but they weren't great. So Bile, B-I-L-E. They gave it a shot. Yeah, whatever. We had Soulfly. I've seen Soulfly, and only once intentionally. The first time I saw Soulfly was the first show of their first tour, and it started in Houston, Texas. And there was Sevendust warming up for them. Sevendust is also on the Strangeland soundtrack, so there you go. Then we had Nashville Pussy. What the fuck, man? Like, that was some weird hard rock band trying to be edgy. Twisted Sister was also on the soundtrack, but that's no surprise since Dee Snider was starring in the movie and probably producing it. Sevendust, I mentioned them. There's a Pantera track on there, Where You Come From. And then Snot. Snot was an interesting band. That was it was called it fell in that new metal stuff, but it was more like aggressive party boy music. I enjoyed Snot. Snot was a really fun band. They had some really cool tracks for just being hard rock, party boy music. They were kind of fun. It's one of those songs of bands you can play for chicks, and they tend to think it's cool. But then the singer Lynn Strait got in a car accident and died, and that was it for that band, which was sad because that band probably could have gone a lot further. Snot. Does anybody remember that band? Know the troubled history of that band? It's tragic. It's like the worst things that can happen to you in a band. The lead singer got arrested and had to do some time, so they were like years late getting out their full-length album and touring for it. So like all these other bands were way ahead of them, and by the time they got out there, they gave it their best, to put on a show and put out their music, and then they toured relentlessly, and then the lead singer dies in a car wreck when they're cutting their second album. Oh, how tragic. How absolutely tragic. What else is on this soundtrack? This soundtrack was something else, the Strangeland soundtrack. Y'all need to check it out. We got Coal Chamber. At least the dude from Coal Chamber went on to do that other band, Devil Driver. I like Devil Driver tracks, man. There's some good Devil Driver songs out there. Say what you want. Didn't care for Coal Chamber. Me loco. I didn't care for that shit. I thought it was too silly and commercial and campy. But Devil Driver was pretty good. Never saw him live. Then there's a track from Marilyn Manson. I never liked Manson. Never liked Marilyn Manson. I tried. Marilyn Manson fans were too weird. And then, like, weird not in a good way. Like, ICP fans. Weird, but not in a good way. Any juggalos out there? Comment down below if you have been or knew of juggalos. Yeah, I couldn't get into that stuff. Just wasn't for me. Then a band called Head PE. Head PE. I don't know. Another one of them rap rock bands. I saw them live. That was like, I don't need to know anymore. I saw them live just warming up for another band. Just trying to go out and support local music. They played, and I was like, yep, gonna give that a pass. Then we got System of a Down. Man, System of a Down blew up on the internet a few weeks ago. Like, everybody was talking about System of a Down. I have no idea why. I guess they got canceled or some shit. I don't know. But System of a Down was on there. You should listen to the System of a Down demos. Wow, they're different than what you know of. If only all you know is their albums and you've never heard the demos, like, they're strangely different. The System of a Down demos actually sound like the songs are slowed down. Like, it's just real rough cut, slowed down versions of the songs you know. And then you realize the songs you know were just the songs they wrote sped up, played ridiculously fast. And they were weird. And I guess that's why people liked them. Not gonna lie, System of a Down was funny as shit for a minute. I don't care. You can hate me all day long. You can call me a poser or whatever for that, but System of a Down was funny for a minute. And then Mesmerize, Hypnotize came out and they were garbage. And then Crisis. I've mentioned Crisis on this channel. Crisis was on this. Man, Crisis tried like hell to get popular. Like Guar. That was another band that tried like hell to get popular, but they just couldn't break through. I think Guar's problem was they kept sticking their foot in their mouth. Don Draculich, also known as Sleazy P. Martini, had a YouTube channel for a hot minute, and then he got canceled. Oh yeah, somebody did a canceling of that guy. But he said that Guar was notorious for sticking their foot in their mouth. There was a story about Dave Brockie talking shit about Rob Zombie's movies right before they were supposed to go on tour with Rob Zombie, and then Rob Zombie heard the interview and then kicked him off the tour. So, wow. Yeah, touring with Rob Zombie. Oh, that's not that cool. Yeah, but it would have brought Guar out to like a wider audience that they probably needed. And then Dave passed away, and that's really all you need to know about Guar. I saw Guar like 5 or 6 times with Dave Brockie. Yeah. Well, anyways, Crisis. I was talking about Crisis, not Guar. So Crisis was on this one. I think they got a song called Captain Howdy. I believe that's the name of Dee Snider's character in the movie. And I think Captain Howdy might actually be a cover of a Twisted Sister song. I don't know. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Did y'all hear any of this? Know any of these bands I listed? You know, like was this something y'all checked out? Some of y'all are young. You probably don't know about this stuff. I know Josh and Cameron and y'all too, because you're as old as I am. I know y'all probably know about it. Young Bucks, y'all go out and check it out. Expand your musical metal history. And is this album over? We were listening to More to Scold, and I put it on the back half, and well, it just all of a sudden ended. So we're at 17 minutes. I'm gonna go hit play. So we listened to the back half of that album, and now we're just gonna start at the top. I feel like I have that wrong. I do. More to Scold, The Surface. It's good. Melodic, mediocre, metal, death metal. Late 90s. That's what we had. So yeah. Strangeland. I've got other comments I want to bring up. One in particular. I'm just going to give you a preview of this one. It's called, it says Zenith. So it's like Zenith, but without the H. Zenith, he's from Poland. He's a real cool guy, y'all. Reaching out to me like the way he did. Very cool, very respectful, very, well, anyways, I'm going to bring up his comment Monday, and, I think he's a younger guy, so us older dudes in the crowd need to say cheers to this guy for coming out here and reaching out to me and saying this stuff, so, we'll do that Monday. Sunday is going to be some music videos. Putting those out. Some of those are getting views. That's good. Y'all are listening to the soundtrack. Awesome. What else did I need to cover? Want to cover? Well, anyways, I'll do this one real fast. I was mentioning this to a guy on Twitter. He watches the channel. He's from Brazil. Yan, is that your name, right? We were talking metal stuff on Twitter. Y'all, try to get on Twitter and find me, because there's YouTubers, people on the channel that have gone over to Twitter, and we chat over there, and we have a blast. You can actually, like, get conversations with me. So please do that. That'd be real fun. And there's other cool people out there on Twitter talking about metal. So, I told Yan about seeing Incantation back in the day and seeing Deliverance, Horrific Prophecies, and Entrancement of Evil. They played those songs live way back in the day, and I got to see those. And at the time, I had seen Cannibal, I'd seen Dying Fetus, I'd seen Deeds of Flesh. I had a bunch of albums. But it was this show, the Incantation show, where I realized I knew I was going to be metal as fuck for the rest of my life. To the day I died, I knew I was going to be metal as fuck. So to me, that metal as fuck to the day I die, what does that mean to me? For 20 minutes, I know, hang on, I'm just going to wrap this up with this comment. What does that mean to me? To me, it just means I'm going to listen to music, support the scene the best I can, which means go to shows when I can, buying albums, buying shirts, but really being metal as fuck is helping out the younger dudes who are trying to get into this. So you as a young person and you're like, man, I want to be metal as fuck the day I die. Support the scene. Get albums. Get physical albums. Go to shows when you can, if and when you can. And then help anybody else out that's trying to learn more. That's metal as fuck. You're just showing your bullets in your bullet belt. And you don't have to hold it over people. Y'all can be cool and be like, oh, check this out. But also listen to what other people have to say, because sometimes younger people have stuff that you don't know. Some of y'all in the comments are just throwing stuff at me. I'm like, oh, I never heard of that. No, I should listen to that. And then some of it's really good. So you never know. Good advice can come from a lot of weird places. So, I had a note for myself. So yeah, we're at the 20-minute mark. More to Skull. This first track's got a good melody, though. I do dig it. And just know, wherever there's a blast beat, I am with you. It's Cattle Prod, your Appalachian warlord. Take care, y'all. Have a great weekend.